If you don't have established planning and reflecting habits and need like a tool that will help you get those habits established, if you have no desire to make your own planner out of a notebook, if you don't want to go entirely freestyle, but you want a system or a framework that has very flexible options that you can consider like menu options that you can either choose to use or ignore, but has a really good base in the middle, or if you're also looking for something you can start anytime as long as you don't mind an undated planner, then I highly encourage that you check out the Full Focus Planner. It's what I base my planning around for the most part as far as the structure of my system. As you can see, I've been a fan of the Full Focus Planner. That's difficult to say. I have several completed and a couple blank ones here. I started, I don't know, 2018? I don't remember what year Full Focus Planner started. I have a couple of the bound type that are in storage, and I think I have one other one that's a coil type. I like the coil better, obviously. Both sizes come in bound and coil. This is a like 8.5 by 11 size, like a full notebook, which I like because you can stick papers in it. And this is the more popular size, like an A5 or a half letter size. And so I'm not going to just do a flip through, but I want to go through and talk about the features that I think are so important. I like that they offer the 2 different sizes. I like they offer a bunch of different colors. I think all of their paper now is cream, which is not my favorite thing, but it's nice enough paper. I'm going to start here with, make sure I'm in frame. This has been in storage, so it's a little warped. It's not that you would get a warped one. It's this is from 2022. I did order their annual subscription that year. I agree with them on their getting started steps, and I think these are the 2 of the biggest pros for their planner and their system. Setting a daily big 3 and completing a weekly preview. Don't love the name. We'll hit everything, but rather than go in order, I want to talk about those first. Each week, it's a 13-week, a quarterly planner, so it does get a little pricey, but if you don't have the habits built up that are in here, it is a great learning tool. Again, I did it for a few years and I've internalized the things. You can do all of this in your cheap notebook, plain notebook. It's actually, they give you 14 weeks because they give you a bonus week. Each week there is one of these to start the week. They call it a preview to start the week, but you're starting by reflecting. So you're starting by an after action review where you're looking back and listing your wins. Definitely a habit I've included and continued. How far did you get on your weekly big 3? You see you're going to be setting a big 3 for the week. Love that. And again, it doesn't have to be 3. Sometimes it's 2 or 1 if you have a busy week. And sometimes maybe you'll put a couple little things in. Having that guideline to remind you, you want to do some big things, but you also don't want to overload yourself. The other reflection questions, again, pro that they're here to remind you, con that they're limited in size and you're kind of stuck. I would often just, free write over this. And obviously if you've seen any of my reviews, I think I can go 2 pages or I can go 6 pages on a review. And so here you're kind of stuck with what you have, although you do have a bunch of note pages in the back, which is nice. I like that they remind you to review your goals and tasks, etc. I don't think this is the best place for a habit tracker, but they do give you one each week, remind you to rejuvenate. And so here's where you're actually, kind of planning your week. And that's another, I think there could be more weekly planning. They do, besides your weekly big 3, give you a place for an overview of the week. I'm never a fan when Saturday and Sunday get shortchanged, but at least on the daily pages, they do have full pages. Again, so this is an older version, so I'm sure it's changed somewhat, but this is a weekly preview in this size, just to give you an idea. In this portfolio size, you get 1 page per day. In the more traditional size, you get 1 page for basically planning and 1 page for notes each day. So you get quite a bit more notes, but here your day you have notes and tasks together, but you get an excess of notes pages in the back. So it's that trade-off. Here you'll see daily win on the daily page. I think that's incorporated on the current version of this. This is just old. They do give you a little key similar to a bullet journal key, and they give you a place to mark off your rituals each day. Those are their names for routines. I'll show you those in a little bit. But again, they give you each day has exactly the same, including Saturday and Sunday, and then you just flip into the next weekly preview. I mentioned the sizes. I don't remember if I mentioned yet the binding. I am a coil bound girl, so I can flip it over. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to get it out of frame. But, I like to have things open like this rather than the full width. So that's why I like the coil. They do offer the book bound version in both sizes as well. I think they offer loose leaf, and they did offer a pocket. I'm not sure if they still do or not. So the other features are kind of the ramp up features in here. And again, just because that's the kind of person I am, I'm not going to go in order. I want to show you my next favorite thing in here, which is the rituals. You may or may not like the name rituals, routines, habit stacks, whatever you want to call it. This definitely helped me improve my morning ritual. I'm still struggling on the evening as far as, I guess really what I work on is I guess I have an evening routine. What I'm really working on is a workday shutdown, as I'm trying to wrap up my day before I cook dinner. But my problem is my days are always different. So this is what I'm working on. I wholeheartedly endorse having something at the beginning of your workday versus your morning. But if you're not working a traditional job, that's sometimes hard to build because each day is a little different. I love that they include this. I love they give you a place for the ideal week. I will link up in the corner there my recent video on ideal week. This never quite worked for me, but I love the idea of it. I think it's important. I finally found something that works for me. I like that they give you this 12-week view. Again, it's a quarterly planner. I like you're going to have all those fresh starts, and I like that they give you the flexibility that some people are going to go January to December no matter what, and some people, if they're starting this in May, they're going to put May here and go for the next 12 months because they think, why do I need to look in the past? They do give you months. I am a Monday start girl, so that was great with me, but I think as long as you've got it undated, they probably should have left those words off. Maybe they have now. Haven't looked recently, but I'm never a fan of monthly calendars in planners because I use a lot of calendars for tracking, but I don't do anything with appointments or those kinds of things. So the other thing I really like is they give you a project tracker. I've always got something like this going. Besides having it in my task manager, which I'm using Things 3 now, I do have a Google Sheet with my projects, and they give you a place to list your annual goals. They have a whole bunch of information on goals. I'm not opposed to goal setting. I am opposed to worrying about goals before you have everything else in order. I think bottom up is important and then top down. So on their goal pages, I like that they do give you your life categories. Again, you may need to tweak some of those, but they're fine as far as goal pages go. Again, streak tracker, always hard for me, whether it's here or in Power Sheets or whatever, to do streak trackers when they're not, where you are every day, but at least they get you thinking about it. And then in the back, we have a quarterly preview when you finish up the planner and getting you set up for the following quarter. And then they give you 31 pages of notes, I think, which is awesome. I wanted to remember to talk about the podcast. I love the Focus on This podcast. They started in 2019. If you're the kind that like the binge old podcasts, I would recommend just start at the beginning, listen. It's great road trip listening. Ask me any questions that you've got about it, like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for being here. If those things are sounding good to you, I hope you'll subscribe and jump in the comments. Let me know what kinds of things you're struggling with or what you'd like to hear about how I've dealt with certain things, or just let me know what's worked for you. So as I said, this is not a budget option. It is a $40 or $50 planner if you go with the bound or coiled versions each quarter. You don't have to order it forever, just enough to establish those patterns. And if you like it and your budget allows, then you keep ordering it. I did for quite a while. There's also a loose leaf option for $100 for like a ring bound planner, A5, I believe. But then also requires a binder to put it in, so not necessarily less expensive unless you've got one laying around and you like that kind of thing. That can lead you down some other paths that aren't very cheap, so be careful there. But if you want a planner that gives you structure and freedom, gives you almost everything you need for a system, still probably needs some task management and a few other little things, but a really good framework to work within, then think about a full focus planner. This is not sponsored, it's not an affiliate link. I just think it's a great product and you should check it out. Hope to see you back here again. Like and subscribe. We'll see you again soon.